kind of slow, so if you want to turn your cameras off, Pete, I'm gonna do it in a second. But we're live now, so don't do it now.
My camera is always
hello, and hello, and welcome to the Brazil Expat Journal, the BJ you can trust. It's Monday. Are you experiencing technical difficulties? It's because it's the BJ. Hello, everybody. How are you? It's Monday. We're back for another edition of the Brazil Expat Journal, the BJ you can trust, straight from São Paulo to the world. I am so happy, guys, with all the engagement we've gotten in the last couple of weeks with the show. I'm hoping that it's very informative for you. I'm hoping that you're getting a lot out of it. Here I am. Guys, look at this. I look like I put my finger in one of those sockets we were talking about last week. If it was 110, 220, because I had a long day.
I have a socket.
For those of you that don't know.
Actually.
Oh, there's Pete. Oh, hey, we got our guest there waiting in the background, but let me talk to Pete for a little bit. Pete, we got a guest on, Antonio, and tonight we're going to be talking about indigenous culture and a whole lot of stuff like that. But just to give people a little bit of an update of what's going on. So Pete just blew a socket. What happened, Pete?
Basically, I was 20 minutes.
How'd you blow that socket?
Job. Yeah, I was 20 minutes from a job, and my computer started to fail. It started to lose power. And I didn't know what was going on. I just figured it was the socket. So, yeah, I had to change it to another one, which seems like a small problem, except it's Brazil. So I only have 5 sockets in my apartment, and not all of them are that accessible. So, it was a minor thing, but because it's Brazil, it turned out to be a big thing.
Yeah, I get that. I had this issue with my sink where it was a simple thing to just change the sink, and then it created a bubble of water on my wall, and I'm like, So we were getting that fixed this weekend. So, guys, much like we were talking about last week, some things when you come to Brazil, you just accept that it's part of living here and you enjoy the rest. But whenever you got to get something serious done, sometimes you run into a few of these issues. But I'm really excited, for the show tonight, because I've been trying to talk to this gentleman for at least a year, maybe. We've had his friend Marcos on the show twice, who's a Portuguese teacher. You guys might remember him. Go back and watch those shows. They were really fun. And he told me he's got a friend, who has some indigenous background, and my ears perked up because I've been trying, as usual, to get a lot of different aspects of Brazil. From the Black culture side, we've talked to plenty of people from the South too, with the European side and the South of Brazil. But a big, huge chunk of Brazil, almost 1 million, the population is indigenous or has some descendancy from indigenous. So that's what we're here talking to Professor Antonio about tonight. And hello, Mr. Professor Antonio. He's there. What's going on, man?
Good evening, you all. I just want to say, first, I want to say thank you for the invitation. It's an accomplishment to be here since our school aims to get the whole continent integrated, talking, communicating. So thank you for the invitation. And what's up? What is the question? Come again?
For sure. And guys, Professor Antonio, he's coming from Rio de Janeiro. Oh, no, I'm just giving you a little bit of a background of who you are. So he's in Rio, and he's been teaching Portuguese and English for 15 years. And this institute that he talks about is the Instituto Aracoara, where what does he do? He kind of bridges the gap of all descendants of both enslaved African and Indigenous people. There's a name for this. It's called Amefricans, if I'm pronouncing that right. So we're going to get a little bit of a background of what this is, this bridging the gap between different cultures. We had a few expats on here. Bishop, Renee does this with dance. Bishop does this a lot with hip hop. He connects the American hip hop with the Brazilian hip hop. So we're going to get a little bit of this from Antonio's perspective. But Antonio, before we really get into it,
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of people here love Rio de Janeiro. Okay. And how's life in Rio right now? What's going on? How's life in Rio?
Life in Rio, life in Rio is something as always. We live in this city. We have the best and the worst, I think, because we have pretty landscapes, we have awesome people, we have good integration, but we also have a lot of problems with politicians and assessment. And so it's awesome to be in Rio de Janeiro and to communicate with these people, always smiling and in the mood for something. But at the same time, you are always worried. You are always thinking ahead because you have to check out. You have to be careful. So it's always something to live in Rio. It's a big experience.
And there's a lot of crime
Yeah.
too, right?
It's a lot, yeah, a lot of crime. In the South Zone, for example, you have more like pickpocketing and you have something happening, but because you have a lot of cops there, you have a lot of the police there guarding people because they have the money. But in the north area, other areas of Rio, you have a lot of crimes happening and you don't have a lot of the cops there. So you have more things without any solution. You have things that
Yeah,
happens and
a lot of the crime comes from the cops too, doesn't it?
oh yeah, and here I am to talk about this. Yes, as you can see, if you watch the movie Elite Troop 2, Tropa de Elite 2,
Yeah.
you're gonna have an idea that how it is here. It's you have politicians, you have cops, and you have the drug dealers in an entanglement. Let's say like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
They're all
The,
together.
the drug dealers are like politicians, sort of, right?
Yes,
Like,
they are. Yes, yes.
yeah, they're like I don't know how to say it. They're not exactly politicians, but like the
They're
favelas.
funding. They are funding
Yeah,
them.
they have a lot of influence. It's almost like 1920s, 1930s mob bosses. They really control
Yeah,
the
exactly.
politicians, the voting, the way things go. Which, by the way, spoilers, when we do the movie show, Tropa de Elite 2 is definitely going to be my top 5. I like the second one better than the first one because
Yeah.
exactly because of what
I
you
haven't
said.
seen the second one.
Yeah, it goes deep. It goes into it goes all
Yeah,
the way up to Brasilia.
Yeah, the
Is
first
Weg-
one.
is
The
Wagner
first
Moore
one
in that one as well?
is
Yeah.
what?
Yes.
Wagner. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
yeah,
Cool.
for sure.
Yeah.
You have to see. You have to watch it, and then that's it. So it's a difficult thing to be living in a city that I mean, where who can we get to get our things done? If you have these happening, if you have the politicians together with the cops and the drug dealers and the militia now, you have a militia, which are former cops. That
Yeah.
So how do we do? Some of my students come here sometimes and they say, "Oh, I think Brazil is like this because Brazilians they're not struggling a lot. They're not. Come on, that's not it. That's not it. It's way more deep. It's way deeper than that.
Yeah, he kind of, and that's the sad part about the end of the movie is because he kind of realizes he wants to do something good, and then he realizes, man, it's almost like Pete and I we did the X-Files. We did a podcast X-Files. It's almost like the X-Files, Pete. It's like they're so close to the truth, so close to the truth, and then it's like starting all over again because it's like there's always somebody above who's got more power. So, Antonio, can you give us a little bit more about your background before we move on? Both personal and professional.
Oh yeah, personal. Let's start with personal. My parents are from the Northeast in the North region of Brazil, and they met here in Rio de Janeiro. My mom is from Pará, and my father is from Ceará. And you have a lot of indigenous population in these two regions of Brazil. And then, but as I told you before, being an indigenous, it's a sensitive matter here. So for many people think that they are white because they have the light skin. So I was raised as a white boy.
Hey,
But
you don't look like a white boy.
yes, yeah. To be honest, I got dark. I got darker with time. Yeah, but my birth certification says I'm white.
Mm.
Really?
And yes, because my skin was lighter. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's not just about the
Because,
skin,
dude,
right?
I will tell you, I'm a Canadian Indigenous person myself, and
Okay.
I have the same issue. Like people are like, you're not a fucking Indian. And it's like, no, I am, dude. Like if you check my family history, technically I am.
Yeah, I mean, how we perceive these is very important, right? Because, for example, if you are black and you have light skin, you're still black, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Your mama, your maybe someone got married to a white person, and okay, your skin is white, it's lighter, but you're still black. But indigenous people, they don't think like that. They don't think like, okay, my skin is lighter, my skin is almost white, but I have the indigenous blood. My grandmother was indigenous, so I'm indigenous. But they will never think like this. They want to be white because in Brazil, perceiving whiteness was something, right? And it still is. It
Yeah,
still is.
it is.
So yeah, I was raised as the white boy, and then I think only in the university, when I was at the university, I started to have an idea that my whole life was something different. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I think I have to check. And since then, I'm trying, I'm struggling to get to this, to get to the roots, to get to these relatives, and I have to go there. But it's going to the North region and research this. It takes time and money, but it's gonna be done. It's gonna be done.
It's so important for you. By the way, guys, thank you everyone that's listening in. Diaspora English. We had a great show with her. Another Canadian. Okay,
Hello, Kay.
that's another Canadian. Kay.
Yeah.
Travelmatic, fan of the show. Love him. What's good, fam? We're good. We're good. We got Don Duncan. Love this show. Hello, Mr. Duncan. Thank you for
Hello.
loving the show. And if you love this show, guys, share it, like, subscribe. Okay? We are here for you. And yeah, she said, damn, you were raised as a white boy. And let me tell you, Kay, maybe this is because my parents are Brazilian, Antonio, and they are also from the Northeast. And I really feel like my mom, her grandmom, was definitely indigenous. You can see it from the face, from everything. So I think she carried some of these traditions. And similar thing that you said, it's like she saw herself as white. And I was raised, although it's America, so it's a little bit different, but I was never taught like you are black. It was just like, okay, you're just there. And whatever, you just kind of go with whatever is around you. And I've said this on the show before that I had a period where I had a lot of self-hate. I had to admit it to myself that I was kind of, they talk about self-racism. And I remember, being in front of the mirror and comparing myself to all the white boys, like wishing my nose a little thinner. I'd like puck my lips. When I went to college, like you, when I went to university, I was like, oh, black
Yeah.
people, you
Yeah.
know? And then that's when I kind of realized, okay, yeah, I am treated a little different because of this. I had to, all those things that maybe you don't notice when you're a kid in high school, but then when you're out, you realize, oh, that's why, I wasn't invited all the time here, or like I was ever, you notice after the fact. I totally get
That's
where
the
he's
big
coming from. I
difference.
totally went through a similar experience.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a big difference between
Oh,
American
you cut out
and
there, Pete.
other cultures because, like, in Canada, like, I think everybody is Aboriginal in some extent because, like, our people,
Yeah.
we came over mostly as men. Like, it was only men who came from Europe, not like America, where it was families who came over together. Um, so yeah,
Mhm.
it was men who came over alone, and the only people they had to marry were the locals, who were women. And it resulted in this heritage of most of us being Aboriginal to some extent or another. But it's not like there's a look to it, like
Mm-hmm.
um, we could be white, we could be Indian, we could be black, but we're probably not because Canada just isn't that type of country.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, there's like an inherent tie to Aboriginal culture that is less visible than it is in other countries.
And this is interesting because we're getting like three different perspectives of indigenous culture, and we are going to talk a little bit about how the indigenous people were treated here in Brazil versus Native Americans and things like that. And that's new for me, what you said, Pete, and it almost reminded me a little bit of how Brazilians treat blackness because of so much mixing here compared to the U.S. Like in the U.S., it's very clear. If you got one drop of black, you are black.
Yeah.
And we're very clear about that. Whereas in Brazil, it's kind of like, even DJ Williams said, from my experience, Brazilian whiteness is more about economic status. There's not like a defined, like, what is actual Brazilian white? What is actual Brazilian black? And it's changed.
Well, it's kind of weird how people choose to define themselves too,
Yeah.
because I used to teach this married couple.
They
They were both half black, half white. And the husband in the couple identified as white, and he was totally not white. His name was Enrique, for fuck's sake. That's not a white name. It's not even a black name. It's like a Hispanic name. But he could pass. And I taught his wife, and she was a black woman, no doubt. Like she was half white, but she looked more black than white. But she chose to identify as black simply because her mother was the black parent in her family, and she really related to like some of the racist bullshit that her mother had to go through.
No,
So she just chose to identify as black.
So so what we're getting here is that ID is all over the place. So let me get back to Antonio.
I just want to say something about what DJ said. The fact that he said being white is a matter of economic status, right? But in the end, when a cop is in front of you with a gun and by your side there is a light-skinned person, he knows who is black and who is white. So even if you go to a slum, if you go to a slum, for example, you're gonna see as far as I've been there, like, and I've been teaching around. If you go to a slum, you can see it's divided. Northeast people are together, black people are together. You have the funky parties representing the black people culture, and you have the forrós representing the Northeast people. So they are all together, but you can see a division there. You can see it's divided. It's not all integrated, no. Because
I mean, I think it depends on a lot of other things too, like your overall presentation. Like, I mean, I don't think cops see black and white so much as they see rich and poor, and they equate black with poor. So that goes with the territory.
I mean, if you're black and you're rich, of course they're gonna approach you maybe less harmful, maybe. Yes. But depending on the situation, man,
what I was saying.
I've seen black people in suits being attacked by cops. Like the guy's a lawyer, maybe he's a judge, and the cop, he doesn't want to know. The guy's black, so that's cold all over him.
Yep. And I've told the story about, being the first time I had guns drawn on me was in Brazil when I was living in Moema, which is why I left Moema. So you got, and even taking the cops
out. I've had guns pulled on me as well. Here.
Yeah, but Pete, the thing is this, taking cops out of the equation, I'm dressed up, I'm looking okay, and I'm stopped before I go into some hotels. Actually, I sued a hotel because of that, because he stopped me. He didn't stop anybody else. He literally put his hand on the wall and asked, "What are you doing here?" And I went under his arm so I didn't punch him in the face, because I'd rather have a lawsuit, against him than against me. So that's the issue. It's like, to a certain point, it's like that Jay-Z song, "You're still a nigger." Like, you're this, you're that, you're that, you're that, that. And then there's a certain point where they definitely, not just the cops, people remember,
and I would say, like, I have to point out too that, like, two of the cops who pulled guns on me were black.
Yes. Yeah, but you dress like a bum. Like, I understand when I go out dressing like a bum, I'm gonna get stopped too. I get that because it's like you fit a certain description.
Yeah, it's all
like
about
appearance,
go out right?
Looking like it, and especially São Paulo. São Paulo, we talked about that last week and the week before. São Paulo really is about appearance, even more than Rio, Bahia, where you can go to the shopping mall. Like, I'm dressed now in my little tank top. If I walked in Shopping El Dorado looking like this, I would get followed. There's
you got followed.
Yeah, I got kicked out of El Dorado a couple of months ago, actually.
You got followed?
Yeah, for sure.
No, I got kicked out.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. No, Pete. I get it because I'm not always dressed up. I like to be relaxed with my clothing, but I learned here in Brazil I got to be extra with it. It's depending on where I go, I got to make sure I'm walking, which has boosted my self-esteem. I'm looking damn good. I'm 42, about to be 43 in a couple of weeks, so I'm not mad at Brazil. You pulled something out of me that I didn't know I had. But
dress yourself. You have to dress yourself. You cannot run, because if you run,
you cannot run.
Shit may happen. Yeah. So you have a code.
Exactly.
As I was raised, I realized, because two things that are really different now, and I'm gonna say about my experience. It's like, as I was being raised with my black friends, I started to see that the cops wouldn't stop me as they would stop them. Because they would recognize more the black feature in them, and then okay, it's them. But if it's me and a white boy, it's gonna be me. So that's the matter. So I realized there was something different happening. But at the same time, people started, like, I know the last 20 years, people started to see me as a black person, especially for example, my students from the US, they see me as a black man, and then I get to a place that I was born like white. People see me as a black man because of nose and lips, but they don't know that indigenous people, they also have the nose and the lips. If you check the Brazilian different groups, it's not just from Africa. So I say that I live in this place. It's the non-place. It's almost a non-identity,
I got you. That's kind of,
it's very similar to Canada as well, because in Canada, it's not just being indigenous. It's like, which country did you belong to? In Canada, we call indigenous people First Nations, right? Which means like you were like the first country in the Americas, and you have like the Cree, you have the Blackfoot, you have the Dakota. Like, it's not just a matter of being a First Nations person. It's a matter of which nation you belong to. So does Brazil like actually have that sense of identity, or has that been lost?
Peter, with the segue, good Lord, I was about to ask that. I was going to say, you did, that was wonderful, because I was going to ask what tribes are around. Do they still have these type of divisions or not? So thank you, Peter.
Yeah, and I want to say that DJ is right about what he said about Pookie. That's right, DJ. It is like that. It is like that.
Yeah, so those who are listening here, DJ mentioned if you're at, for example, a party at Pookie, which is a very upscale university here,
Yeah.
the police are not going to go wild because it's an upper class school. Oh yeah, in an upper class
Yeah.
neighborhood. Yeah,
But when you go out of this party with your white friend and you take a distance, you're going home, maybe the police will be there, and then we know who the police will start getting problems, having problems with, because it's always like that. If you are in the same environment and you are rich, okay, you're gonna be well treated. But once you are out of this environment, you are the black person, you are the indigenous
yes,
person, you're the
yeah,
non-white, you're the non-white.
yeah. Look at this. DS English, thank you for dropping in. I should
By
say I
K.
gotta go. Hope you have a great discussion. Listen in later. We're gonna go deep in here. We're actually just getting warmed up, which I
Oh
love.
yeah.
And the Brazilian police will treat an African American simply because, yeah, no, that's the
Yes,
group
true,
card. Yes, it is 100%
true,
true.
true,
It's
but
sad.
not. Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. But I was very like surprised. I think 2 years ago, because when a foreign student, he was put into a cop, like a police car, with a bunch of black Brazilians because they
Yeah.
were at a place smoking, and then the police put them all into the car, in the cars, and they took them to the police station. And I was like,
Mhm.
okay, the American status didn't give him a pass out, he had to go.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? That was
In the
surprising to me.
favela, it can be
Yeah.
kind of wacky. We've had Jordan on, and Jordan talked about how the only time he's ever been robbed was by the police, but he lives in Capão Redondo, so
Wow.
Yeah,
depends on
yeah,
how well you
that's
blend in, man. It depends on how well you blend in. Sorry, Pete. Go ahead.
no, no, no. I'm just saying that Jordan's story was understandable.
Yeah, because I think and that's the thing about what we've been talking about in Brazil, appearances, and actually, rest in peace, right? The lady from Keeping Up Appearances died. Great actress, great show, but it is about keeping up that appearance. Um, um, of who you present yourself to be, and that can give you power. So that idea of getting robbed and you're an American, like Jordan, he blends in. He looks very Brazilian, even though he's an American, and he's 100%. At least in my perception, if you
Yeah.
see him in a party, I wouldn't be like, "Oh, there's the American guy," because usually American black men are a bit bulkier, taller. We know the look, right? Kind of Watif, or
Yeah,
Frank.
yeah. They're tall and
Yeah,
bulky. Not like
yeah,
you.
I
yeah.
mean, I
Well,
mean, it's not that difficult to blend in Brazil. I mean,
exactly. That's another thing. So if you're all blended in, and maybe he even spoke some Portuguese. I don't know the whole thing. So they'll treat you like, I know when I'm in the favela, I'm Brazilian. I'm 100% Brazilian. I just happen to have grown up in the US. I got to be extra careful because I am just another brown skin, black skin Brazilian. Shit can go down with me. So I'm extra careful. But also when I'm in a rich area, I have my, spidey sense on because I know, like, technically this
yeah.
is not a space for me, but I'm going in because I don't care. I want to go in
Yeah,
here.
but
But I got,
that's largely a thing that Brazilians self-impose on themselves, though.
but it's
Have
like
you
built
have you
in.
heard about Rolezinho?
Yes, that was that whole movement.
Yeah,
We talked
Rolezinho was
about it
something
on
like
the show.
a bunch of black kids. They decided to go to the shopping mall at the same time one day, and they went to the shopping mall, and it was insane. People got crazy because
Hmm.
they are not they are not used to see this bunch of black people all together walking around in a shopping mall. But if you have a
Right.
bunch of white people doing it, it's not a problem. But security guards got crazy, and then you got violence happening. Of course, when other happened, you had some people stealing because they get the opportunity to do it. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
the whole essence of the movement was just to show that if you are black, you cannot get together and just go for a walk. You can't.
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
Yeah.
it depends.
Exactly.
It
Yeah. I
depends.
mean, it depends on the area. It
Yeah,
depends on
exactly.
the
If you are at the
area.
periphery, if you are at the periphery, yes, you are in your place. You are at the place you have to be. But if you go
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
their area, the privileged area, oh,
Man, yes, it's such, and you have to really, like here they say, bate em frente. You gotta like really you have some spine and really confront these guys. Like we
You
showed
have
a
to
video
confront,
here.
yeah.
Speaking of my friend Jordan, maybe last month we showed a clip from Jordan and I were recording a video in Moema, of all places, and we were on the steps of this building that's public. There were people sitting on the benches, just recording with the camera, not even talking. And the security guard comes over and says, "You can't record here." And
Well,
I was like, this is a public place. But that's the thing that I've seen Brazilians are doing more. Because speaking of like what Pete just said, like it seems like it's self-imposed, but I think it's because it's almost like a brainwashing, And one thing I've talked about a lot on the show, and I have no problem saying it. Sometimes I would, speaking of bater em frente, I would have a little bit of debates with Black Brazilians because it seemed like they kind of bowed down to it a little bit. They weren't as aggressive as American Blacks can and have been. And it seems like that's changing in the culture here. I see many more Black people that are like, yo, this is how it is. I'm
yeah, because
walking
you
down
said,
the
yeah,
street. I'm wearing my hair like this. It is what it is. And that made a big difference for me. It makes a big
Yeah,
difference
it's
because
more.
that guy, like let me just finish real quick, because that guy maybe 10-15 years ago would have said that, and a Black person would have just been, yeah, like this is Moema, this is and boom. Where
yeah, I'm
like
sorry,
now
I'm going.
they're,
Yeah.
yeah, sorry, desculpa, and now you see it's like, no, he's like, oh, we have to talk to the sindicato. I was like, okay, then call the sindicato or call the cops, either or, I'll wait. And then he walked away. So this is changing his attitude. But sorry to cut you guys off. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think just because you said in the beginning when you were growing up and you had like you were not, there was no people like saying to you like you're Black and not saying the opposite, so it was like more like a silence, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's very like common between like Black people in Brazil. It's the silence. Who are you? There is no, it's not something to be said. They're not going to
Uh-huh.
tell you that that you are white. No, of course
Yeah,
not.
they
But
don't actually ever say it's race. That's
yes,
the thing.
I mean, you're Black. Oh, let's not talk about it. And then
Yeah,
People used to grow up like, okay, who am I? I'm a non-white person. So how can you fight for something you don't even know you are? But now
Yeah.
with the Black movement, I think the last 20 years, the Black movement came hard, and we have
Yeah.
Black people publishing, Black thinkers like Djamila Ribeiro, like she produces like great material for Black people and non-Black people, so because you need to be anti-racist, right?
Yeah.
So now you have Black people starting to say, hey, I'm Black, don't call me morena. Like a
Oh
woman in
God.
Brazil
Yeah.
will say,
Oof.
don't call me morena, I'm not morena, I'm not
Yeah. I'm Black.
mulata, I'm
Yeah.
Black.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's coming, it's coming.
It's definitely a shift. It's definitely a shift. I remember I used to talk a lot with my friend Elisa about this. Also, a great friend of the show. She's been on the show a couple times. But back in 2008, I got into Brazil 2008. I used to say we used to play a game called Spot the Black Person. We used a different word, but let's be PC. Spot the Black. When we were waiting at the doctors, looking through the magazines, and it's like you're lucky if you found one in the background of a commercial and of an advertisement. And now you walk down Paulista, you see Hassa, not just Hassa. Hassa is like an old one. It's almost like ebony down here in Brazil. But you see
Yeah.
many more, all different colors, because it's not just about Black. I don't mind seeing white faces. I want to see Japanese. I want to see faces. I want to see everything there. And it's changed a lot, but that's thankfully to a lot of these movements that they really, put the gas on. And what you said was beautiful, that the idea of how can I fight for something that I didn't even know that I am? And I never connected that. Like, because, yeah, I was never taught or said, you are this. So I was just kind of there, and then you can't just be there for the rest of your life. At some point, you got to figure out, okay, this is a little bit of my essence, and I can kind of direct my life based on some of that. So it's a
Yeah.
powerful thing to discover who you are. And Brazilians are of color, are beginning to discover who they are.
And since you don't have references, you grow without, like, for example, white people. Oh, you are beautiful as an angel. You are beautiful as that actress. You are beautiful. But what about the Black and Indigenous people? And even the Indigenous is worse because you have no
frame of reference.
you don't have people representing Indigenous people on media. Now maybe we are starting to have more Indigenous people on Instagram, TikTok, and stuff. But before, I never saw my face in a magazine represented by someone that I could say, "Oh my God, yes, nice. Oh, this is a guy." No, it was always white.
But it must be kind of similar to Canada, though, because the way that Canada was mostly originally populated by Indigenous people, and most of them died because of disease brought from Europeans. But still, like I think that everybody in Brazil must have some connection to Aboriginal culture.
Yes.
Like even if you have to go back like 3-4 generations, like it must be there.
Yeah, I mean, Brazil is something. It's really something because if you go to the south, for example, you have like cities in Santa Catarina, for example. Santa Catarina, there is a city called Valahai, which is a city that maybe 20, 30 years ago, they would only speak German. Still.
Right.
And they are white as they can be with the features. It's like I've lived in Curitiba for 1 year and 2 months, 1 year and a half. And I've seen cities with like one black person.
Yeah.
You would see like, and you would, as I just said, spot the black.
And it would be you.
Yeah, and sometimes it was me. Sometimes it was me. I was like, okay, it's me.
Yeah, I went to a high school with one black person actually, and it was not just like a regular high school. It was like a grade 8 to 12 high school, so more than 1,000 students, and we had one black student. But we also had like at least 200 Aboriginal students. But
Canada is something also. Canada is
a place that I want to grade 10.
Wait, say that again, Pete. That last part.
Most of them did not reach grade 10. They had so many fucked up shit going on at home that most of them dropped out.
So 1 second, Pete, because now that's a double segue. Because first we kind of drifted and we didn't get to that main thing about the tribes. Okay, so what are like some of the main tribes here in Brazil, and are they still existent? But also just flash forward, like what Pete said, because one thing that we know from Native American culture, it's similar to what Pete said. They all ended up in the reservations. They tried to assimilate them. There's the Dawes Act. There's a whole bunch of stuff. They drove them from the land, a lot of battles, a lot of wars, a lot of massacres. But in the end, which is not exactly a happy ending, they built these reservations. Natives who wanted to live there followed their own laws. They had the casinos to make some money, boom, 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 boom. And then the Americans kind of wiped their hand of it. And at least I feel that there isn't that much indigenous influence in general American culture, because they kind of just said, fuck these people, we're here. And Americans are kind of like...
America, it's definitely worse. In Canada, we have a lot more say. But in America, no.
Yeah, so how is that in the Brazil? How is that whole mini history for Brazilian indigenous?
You're asking me?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. How is the what? Come again.
How is that the similar history? Like Pete kind of gave the history of the indigenous in Canada. I kind of gave the mini history of the indigenous in America till present. What is it like here in Brazil? Or like, what are the tribes, the main tribes?
Yeah, you have 20. I think you have like 2 big groups, Macro-G and Tupi, the 2 big groups, and you have subgroups. I think at 29 different groups in Brazil. 274 languages spoken. Yeah, 1.7 million indigenous. But
Okay.
the history is like, in the beginning they were enslaved, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then uh, they thought, okay, now we need to enslave the black people and turn the indigenous, since they are like weaker. They are
Mm-hmm.
weaker. They get the diseases. They die easily. We're gonna get them to to help, and we're gonna protect them, and we're gonna teach them how to be Catholics,
Okay.
and we're gonna preach, and we're gonna turn
Oh.
them into. We're gonna take them from the land, and we're gonna drive them to another place, but because we want that specific land, but we're gonna protect them also. And stuff happened in Brazil. Like, for example, once there was a battle between the Jesuitas and the Portuguese. And the Jesuitas, they were protecting the indigenous from the Portuguese.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it's a thing. Indigenous people, they were not perceived as a working tool anymore. Like just in the beginning, and they were massacred, like because of the land. They were killed, and they were reduced to just like a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been, I don't know, 30 years that the indigenous people started to grow again.
Okay.
Population started to grow again. Yes, yes. And this spirit of being indigenous and putting your face out and showing yourself and saying that you are indigenous, and denouncing the companies that are there trying to get the land, killing indigenous people, denouncing the mining extraction
Mm-hmm.
that also gets disease everywhere.
Yeah.
So the history of Brazil, of Brazilian indigenous people, is struggling, trying to survive until today. And we don't have a big movement. Like the black movement is big here. You have
Mm-hmm.
political representation, like a strong one. But indigenous people, they are starting to have political representation now, but it's not as strong as it has to be to stop them being killed, for example.
I see.
I've been trying to reach the minister through the social media. Like, hey, say, when is this going to stop? Like the
Mm-hmm.
killing, the mass killing of indigenous people, because it's still on. It's still on.
It is, and it's like news that people just are like, oh, okay, that happened again. Like it doesn't affect because it happens so often. You know, it's very sad. But let me ask you something, because this is something that sometimes I get confused with the history here. Because I've been to aldeias. Is an
Yeah.
aldea similar to like a reservation? Is it like were the Indians ever forced into a land and said, "This is indigenous land," or like you have to stay here? How does that part work? You know, were
Yeah,
they driven to someplace? Yeah.
yeah. I think in the U.S. it was. I think the indigenous people, they got moved more from the
Yes.
areas, like in a
Mhm.
general way, like many, or maybe almost all of them. But in
Yeah, the
Brazil, you
Trail of Tears. Trail of Tears. Millions died. They had to go from the East Coast, Georgia, all the way to the middle of the country. It was like
yeah.
400 miles or something. A lot died. Yeah.
Yeah, here we have the groups that had to move, but you also have groups that are there since ages.
Okay.
You still have in Brazil, we still have indigenous that never communicated to the society,
Oh wow.
Right.
and they we keep them like that. We try not to get into their land, and even sometimes, yeah, you can get killed because they have bow and arrow, and if you put your
Mhm.
face there. Yeah, once, I mean, it was recently, this guy, he had a great relationship with them. He was always communicating with them. He was just one person doing this. But if I'm not wrong, he was dressed different. Something was different, and he went running, and he got arrowed. He died. So
Oh.
yeah, you have the two things in Brazil. You have people that moved, and you have people that they keep their land. They don't want to go out of there, or maybe they took the land from people that were moved before, and now they want to stay there. So an aldeia, I think a reservation, it's sadder. I think it's
Yeah.
an aldeia is something with the spirit. It's you still have the energy, the spiritual energy there. You
Oh
still
yeah.
have the life. The stream is still happening there, but reservations somehow I never been to. I wish I can. I wish one day I'll be, but I was never there, so I cannot say. But I feel like it's something like colder, more like, I don't know.
It's interesting because in Canada
Yeah,
they're
I
more
mean,
like
it's they're places where they're more like what?
they're more like a business in Canada. Because like
Oh,
the Aboriginal
okay.
people, they have the land rights, and they actually they rent out the place to white folks mostly.
Wow.
So it becomes kind of
Yeah,
like
in
a real
America,
estate.
there's a little bit of that too, Pete. Yeah. They usually build the casinos. They make a lot of money, but the thing is, it becomes like Pete just said. It becomes this real grimy thing of just like making big money. So maybe you have like the literal, like we say, the 1% up top, who are benefiting. And if you go across the board with reservations, with statistics, it's high levels of alcoholism, low education, or like
Yes,
no
yes.
graduation, little
It, but
jobs.
what it boils
There are
down to is corruption.
yeah,
The best
yeah.
run reservations in Canada are
Hmm.
generally managed by people who know what they're doing and are honest.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
if you look across the board, the worst reservations in Canada, which is most of them, are run by corrupt native governments.
Hmm.
Yeah, but in
Yeah.
Brazil, it's like that also. In Brazil, you have a lot of people alcoholic, and you have the diseases, the STDs. Because I had a friend, a doctor. He was working with the indigenous people in the cities, in the center of the country, and he said, Antonio, it can be really sad because they are lost, and the environment is polluted. They don't have the resources to live like they used to live, and
Hmm.
so they are lost.
Yeah, well, it's generational trauma too, because
Yes, yes.
you have like you go back to the early days of colonialism when the Aboriginal people were like flagrantly preyed upon. They were victimized, and okay, maybe that doesn't happen anymore, but the people that happened to, they pass down their trauma to their children, they pass it to their children, and this is where the alcoholism and the crime comes from. And yeah, it just goes from generation to generation.
Yes. Yeah. And when you are,
Guys,
if you are in, yeah, tell me.
no,
Ooh,
just as you're talking, I'll show in the background here. In 2016, I took a hike
wow,
down here in São Paulo, down to the coast, and
nice.
we slept in an aldeia. So this is where we actually slept. It was a group from my friend's church there, my friend John, who's been on the show. He does a lot of these hikes. So
Hmm.
there you go, going down the mountain, and then after that, that's in the morning. Then we went off into there, but it was really nice people, and they let us sleep in there. It's freezing, but better than sleeping
Yeah,
in the
and they
forest.
are in the cities. Like they are in the cities. Like as I told you, like
Yeah,
sometimes people think that indigenous people, it's only like people living in the forest, half naked.
no,
Yeah,
No.
living in the jungles.
Yeah, like no, it is too. It is too. But for example, I have to talk about this. Aldeia Maracanã. It's an indigenous village right by the side of Maracanã Stadium, and
mm-hmm.
the government is like crazy to get them out of there. But they got back. They broke all the concrete. They planted. They now have fruits. They are getting students from schools, like for kids. They are going there to spend the day with the indigenous kids, playing the games that the indigenous people play. Um,
No, that's cool.
but that's it. I mean, that is a sacred place. It's not just business. Of course, they can make money through it. For example, if you want to
Yeah.
visit and you have a big group, they can make some money, but not a lot. But they can make some. But
Mm-hmm.
the place is not a business. The place is a sacred land that has to be kept, protected, preserved.
Mm-hmm.
And the government, like companies, they want that to become a parking lot.
Yeah.
So it's always struggling. It's like Ailton Krenak, this great thinker, indigenous thinker, said, the war never ended. It never
Mm-hmm.
ended.
Mm-hmm.
We're still at war.
That is intense. Craig, thanks for checking in. Let me just give a couple shout outs here. We had
Great.
Craig on the show, real great guys. He asked a little bit about the Yomomani tribe. They
Yeah.
became famous overseas. And DJ says, I work for Valley Funa teaching English. But go back to the Yomomani, because I think most people that are from outside America, Brazil, will recognize them from the the fake documentary that was made about them. A great book that I read about that. Great book. And also, if you're a horror fan, Cannibal Holocaust, which featured them. But that was a criticism of people that were going down there, exploiting them, including, this very fake anthropological study that was done by a French anthropologist. I think his name was Chagas, with the Yanomami tribe. I think The Road to El Dorado is a book I read on that. Really interesting story. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
Really.
Yanomamis, they live. Yeah, Yanomami. It's
Yamo,
Yano.
Yanomami.
Yanomami. Yeah, Yanomami. The Yanomami
That's-
tribe they live between Brazil and Venezuela. And yes, I mean, they have been struggling a lot, and they are still trying to survive the mining. It's all over. Even like the Lula government now is trying to fight harder the mining business.
Yeah.
I've never seen such thing as like you recently. I think 2 years ago, Lula said that the Brazilian army could put the planes down. They could really like attack them if they were not obeying the orders to stop. And I've never seen Brazil fighting mining as hard as this. But it's still something that it's killing the indigenous and the Yanomami people. It's one of the groups that are being, killed by this. But the story of this group is a big history of struggling and fighting, right? It's the
Yeah,
goal.
man.
I mean, when I think about Yanomami people, I think how these running after gold made their lives living hell, right?
Yeah.
And they are one of the faces of the indigenous people for the world, right? When sometimes when people think about, oh, what is an indigenous person from Brazil, I think one of the faces that
Yeah.
comes are the Yanomami, from the Yanomami people. And yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why people kind of recognize them. But wow, a lot of struggle. And let's get into something a little positive, okay?
Yeah.
Before we wrap it up, because this is an interesting conversation. I'm learning a lot of good food for thought here. But what are some of the positives? Okay, I want to find out how indigenous culture has crept in or is part of Brazilian culture, whether it's in the food and the music, in the dress. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes. I mean, indigenous culture is in our medicine, our like daily life. When you need a medicine and you have like this remedy that you can make at home with some leaves, then you're gonna crush some seeds, or you're gonna mix the herbs with alcohol, and you're gonna let them there for a while, and then you're gonna drink a little bit. So our medicine, this medicine that we have at home, our daily medicine, it's something that comes from the indigenous people. Our games, the fact that we like to be all together outside, hiking at the beach. I think this is a big thing of it that came from the indigenous people. And also, I think the indigenous people, they are the solution for this capitalist world that is killing everything, because the indigenous people, they are teaching us that we have to look back. We have to look back to that tradition, to many traditions that were dealing with the environment way better. And we have to ask ourselves, what we live, is this really progress? Is this really progress? And I think so. I think the indigenous people, they are offering us a new perspective, a better perspective of how to keep our planet running for a little more. Because we made a big havoc here. So, but I think if we want to keep living in this planet longer, the planet will survive. We are not. So the thing is, if we want to keep living here in this planet, we have to listen to the First Nations. We have to listen to the indigenous people. They have been observing, they have seen, and they have a lot to tell us and teach us. They are doing. We just have to listen to them.
Yeah, and they've been around this land a lot longer. They know the land a lot better.
Yes, and they are inviting researchers, like people, to research how can you, okay, instead of plastic, maybe we can use this fiber made of sugar cane. So, I mean, I think, the indigenous people, they are offering the solution.
Look at this comment by Craig, herbology. Yes. I love it. Just found out that boiling goyaba leaves is great for stomach and digestion stuff. It worked.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yes. I mean, I mean, if we go to nature, and this is being indigenous, right? It's doing the science of nature. You're going to observe, you're going to test, you're going to try it, you're going to try it again. And that's it. And then you bring this to your life. It's not like medicine from a lab, which is very potent. It's something to be taken every day. And so we have to communicate with nature. I think that's the way.
And I see that influence a lot. I was just talking to my boyfriend about this yesterday, that my mom was kind of witchy. She would put coins in the corner of the room. She would light a candle, put names inside of it. And she was like, I'm a Baptist. We had to go to Sunday school every Sunday. But in the background, she was super witchy. And I'm like, where did this come from? This genus from Recife. Now, where did this come from? Like I said at the beginning of the show, you can see that her great grandmom or her grandma clearly was indigenous. The hair, and they even said it in the family with the straight hair, the very hard, it's kind of square face. And then I started to notice this is like all of this stuff is not just my mom, it's in Brazil. And It's something that's so different when you're coming from America, where everything's put in a very perfect, imperfect, but perfect little squares. And here you have a Catholic person that'll go to like the candomblé, and you have this that's also Buddhist. And then you have the everything's so mixed.
That's the thing. That's the thing. You have Buddhists, you have Catholics, you have Christians in general, and you have a lot. But when you check their lives, like the intimacy of their lives, you can see that they do these small witcheries, like they put salt here, they smoke the house, and you say, what? Okay, where is this coming from?
Yes.
It's a bunch of things that come from the Black and the indigenous culture.
Yes, my mom, that's like one of the words I remember from Portuguese growing up. Defumando, defumar. I'm like, what the heck is defumar? I had to look it up.
Yeah, and if you go to the Cachimbo, if you go to the indigenous religion, you're going to see that the smoke, when they smoke and they blow the smoke on you, it's part of a ritual, part of a medicine, a treatment.
Yes. And we had a whole cabinet. We never went to the doctor. There was the whole back of a door with just every herb possible. And I just grew up like this. And I never had to go to the doctor. I was never sick. Still pretty healthy. I have a pretty good immune system. I have Boldu, by the way, Craig. If you don't know Boldu, go get yourself some Boldu, man.
Bro, if you get to drink a lot and you have a hangover the next day, if you take a Bodo, like a cup of Bodo tea, you're done. Your stomach is it's great.
Yeah, no, it's the magic drug, man. The magic.
Yeah, leaf. Craig. Boldo, Craig. If you want
Boldo
something for your
Kataya
stomach,
also Kataya.
Boldo. Yeah, yeah.
You know Kataya? I think that's the name.
Kataya,
They
yeah.
even make some they make a caipirinha out of Kataya. I got it down in Ilha
Wow.
Comprida. Man,
Wow.
that's a magical leaf
Oh,
too, man.
pitaya, no.
Let me see. I'm probably saying it wrong.
It's the
I think
one with the
it's
seeds, with the black seeds, the black.
con, I thought it was Kataya, but you're probably right. Ilha Comprida. But guys, when you get the no, it's Kataya. Yeah, look at this,
Kataya.
guys.
Okay.
I got a bottle of this. When I
Wow.
went down to Ilha Cumprida, every time I travel somewhere, I want to try their. You know, I
So
always
yeah,
ask,
so
"What's
you
the
just taught me. You just taught me something.
yeah?
Kataya. Nice.
What's the you know the local drink, whatever?" They're like, "Oh, it's Kataya. You gotta get the Kataya cachaça." And then I
Oh, okay.
started looking up what the heck is Kataya. It says, "Look,
Nice.
conheça Kataya, planta com propriedades medicinais usada na cachaça caiçara." So it's this
Oh,
leaf that's got these really strong medicinal qualities. So man, I was drunk and healthy. I'll tell you that much because that
yes.
cachaça is good. It's a little different. It takes a little second to get used to the taste, but once you get used to it, it kind of cleans. It's just Brazil is about
Yeah.
herb. It's like real herbology. It's not the
Yeah.
fake,
From my,
like I
yeah,
want to be
yes,
cool
yes,
and
yes.
start.
My
So it's
from my
awesome. I love
father's
this. I love this.
from from my father's
Let me
land.
see, guys. We got some more comments here. By the way, thank you, Travelmatic, for checking in. The planet will be here, and we will not. I like that. Yeah, Professor Castro for sure. And El Camelo says, "Thanks for this episode, guys. This is the first time I've heard." Uh-oh. Let me see. My thing's crashing a little bit. Hope I don't get knocked out. Thanks for the episode, guys. This is the first time I've heard about the indigenous experience in Brazil on this scale. I might have kind of cut out a little bit there. In El Camello, also, I recently heard about 70% of mining operations in South America are Canadian owned. Okay, that I didn't know.
Okay.
And I
Wow.
have no idea.
Good to know. Yep.
Yes,
It
yes.
doesn't
So
surprise me.
there, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Nothing
it surprised
surprises
me.
me.
I think I never thought about Canada operating mining here in Brazil. It never occurred to me. Okay.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
the thing is, Canada is like has a huge mining industry, and like whether it happens in Brazil or in Africa or in Australia, it doesn't really matter, like
Yeah,
we're
sure.
everywhere.
Yeah, it's just business.
yes.
Yeah.
Uh, Let me see here, guys. Because we're pretty much, I think I went down the list of things here. And I may have told you, may not have told you, but probably not because I never tell anybody that at the end
Okay.
of the show, if you are a
Okay.
first timer, you got to pass a little quiz, man. And if you
Oh,
fail this quiz, you know what happens to this episode?
no.
Deleted.
Oh my
Nobody will
God.
ever know you exist.
Okay,
Nobody will know that you existed
It's
ever.
it's impossible to fail though, so don't worry.
Let's try. Bring it on.
Don't tell him, Pete. Don't tell him. You got to build the suspense. All right. So it's the expat quiz. All right. Answer these questions the best you can. What is the best thing about Brazil?
The best thing about Brazil is that the best thing is always something different every day. So when you go out, you may find the best thing, and the next day it's gonna be another best thing, different
I
from
like
the day
that.
before. So I think the magic of Brazil is that the best thing it shifts. It shifts. So
Man,
it's
I
all
think,
around.
Yeah.
Peter, we've been doing this for a couple episodes, man. 69 tonight, by the way. Special number. Pete, I think that's the best answer I've heard to that question. I loved it.
Yeah, I agree. It's always something
And it's the
different.
most Brazilian
The
answer.
best
It's
thing about
very
Brazil can be the best thing about Brazil could be the worst thing about Brazil tomorrow. You
Yeah,
know?
but I think yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it shifts. So
oh, that's
it's
great.
waiting for everyone. It's waiting for everyone to see, to experience, because the person who is coming is also adding something to the experience of Brazil, of what is
Exactly.
Brazil. So it's always something new.
Yes. Which goes probably answers the question that we were talking about. What was it last week? That it's very difficult to get a hard yes or no here. Everything's so mercurial. Everything's all over the place. It's the magic of it. It's the best and worst thing about Brazil. Look at this. Tell me. I mean, the next question. I don't know if Pete's ready with it. You got it, Pete?
Bring it on.
No, you didn't send them to me.
It's just the opposite. What's the worst thing about Brazil? What's the worst thing about Brazil?
That we are, I think the worst thing about Brazil is that we are trapped. We are hostages of a government that wants to get the best from us, and they delivering just the basic or less than the basic. So I think it's beautiful to be here and to be Brazilian and make Brazil happen as a country, but also it's very difficult to avoid all these hardships that we find everywhere, like with the government, bureaucracy, authorities, and stuff. I feel like, yeah, that's unfortunately how I feel sometimes, that we are hostages. You know?
Yeah, and I've seen this a lot in coverage of the fact that Bolsonaro just got sent to jail. Because, I mean, okay, people are like, especially Americans, leftist Americans, they're like, yeah, well, that's the way you do it. You send the corrupt politician to jail. But they kind of overlook the fact that we have a corrupt politician who was sentenced to 10 years in jail as our current president. So, I mean, there's no balance, really. It's like, there's corruption and there's no accountability.
Yeah, it's an elite. Like, I mean, we come from a history where we were a colony, right? And when the colony was, I mean, we are still a colony. That's what I want to say. I think it's like things changed a little bit, but we are a modern colony now, and we have our politicians working to sell us for the highest bid.
Yeah. I actually had a student. Her favorite president was Cardoso, and she's like, he was such a good president. He stole so much money, but the thing is that he wanted the country to be rich, so he could steal more money. And that's why he was a good president.
I mean, I'm not gonna say that he didn't start it. He didn't start the social programs that Lula made it bigger and like wider and stuff. But yeah, he started the social capitalism that Lula, because in the end they are not that different, but they are. Because that's it. Cardoso was more interested in money and making money and the businessman, and Lula is interested in, okay, you can make money, but you have to get some money to my people so they have infrastructure, they have healthcare. So Lula wants to make a little more balance, you know?
Yeah.
But in the end,
let's get to food. Okay. And by the way, Anthony, thank you for checking in. And he was on a couple of weeks ago. He's like metralhadora. He's like, worst thing about Brazil: exchange rates, no Trump, lack of respect, low salaries. Okay, I think he's good. And that must be the best things: exchange rates and no Trump. And then the worst things are lack of respect and low salaries. So he gave you his lightning version. What's your favorite Brazilian food? What's your favorite Brazilian food?
I have a problem with favorite, but if I have to choose my favorite Brazilian food, I have to say that it's like I'm gonna choose my mom's side of it. It's tacacá.
Tacacá.
Tacacá is a broth made of cassava and with dried shrimps and a herb that numbs your lips as you eat. It starts numbing your lips. It's very strong. It's very thick. Yeah. And if you're sick and you have one of these, bro, you're done. You're done. You know, I mean, you can't have your medicine, but this is a strong one. So
That
I
looks
love this
delicious.
food. I
I've
love
never
this food.
smelled it.
It's an indigenous food. It's some of our indigenous tradition, and it represents the north region of Brazil, where my mom comes from, Pará and Amazonas, Tocantins. So
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing. If you never tried, come to Brazil and have some.
Ka, ka, ka.
I don't think I've ever had this.
Ka,
I've
ka,
never had this.
ka.
Actually, man, I mean, I'm gonna be forward here on the first date, but I would love to have you back and talk about the food from from your
Bring it on.
background
It
and your
was my.
culture.
It's
Yeah,
how it was how my father
that would be
could get
great.
his money from. So food, bring it on. Just
Oh,
call me back
great.
and talk about food.
Yeah, because Life is actually made a comment from the last week's show. Like, I hear Brazilian food is not that great because it's just rice and beans. I'm like, well,
What? Oh, bro. Oh, yeah. On my Instagram, the thing is,
I no, but let me look. I'll defend that because I get it. Like, if you're just living in a regular like working day, sometimes that's
It,
what you're gonna get.
the
You're gonna get
cuisine
rice,
here can be
rice.
bland.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that it is bland. It just means that okay, and especially if you're in a smaller city, maybe yeah, okay, you only got the per kilo and it's rice, beans, meat, right?
Yeah.
But man, the food here is like from another planet. You know, once you start getting outside of that, you're like,
Yeah,
what?
that Bahia dish they do where they cook seafood and squash is amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Are there
Oh,
any Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
Are there any
Sorry.
Indian reservations he would
Yeah.
recommend for tourists? Hmm. Okay. Oh well, I mean, if you are in Rio de Janeiro, I think you should go to Aldeia Maracanã because you're gonna see this small village next to the football stadium. But you have different groups, indigenous from different groups there living together, and they are teaching, they are planting, they are offering experiences there. So I think if you are in Rio de Janeiro, you should try to go to Aldeia Maracanã and in Bahia, because many students, yeah, if you can check Aldeia Maracanã, we can see some images of there. Yeah, so it's very close to the Maracanã Stadium, the Maracanã River, um, and yeah, you can see the stadium and
Oh, there you
yeah.
go.
So you should go there, and you should come to Rio and go there because they have a lot of things to say, to show, and to live with you, together with you. But if you go to Bahia, you should look for the Pataxó village in Bahia. I think in different places, but I would go for the Pataxó group in Bahia. Many students had the experience and they said it was great. And you can see, look, they are offering the experience to white people. They're very used to deal and show the culture and explain, and so it's a really great experience. Bahia is an amazing place. You should go uh, to see everything that you have there. But
Yeah.
there you're gonna have a great indigenous experience for sure.
Wow.
Oh, and the last one, Aldeia Guarani Imbiá in Paraty, Rio de Janeiro also.
What's his
Guarani
name?
Imbiá. Yeah.
Guarani in
It's
E
Imbiá is like, no, you're going to say
M
MBYA,
M A.
MBIYA.
Oh, Imbia. Okay, Guarani Imbia.
Guarani Imbiá, Paraty. Paraty.
Para. There you go.
Yes. You have this village in Paraty. It's close to, it's like 4 hours from Rio de Janeiro, the city. And it's like amazing. Paraty is a paradise. If you guys want to
Mm,
come, I'm going to show you Paraty. You're going to be in love with Paraty.
Mm.
So there you can check the Guarani Bia people. They're very nice people. They welcome you like in that special way they have. They're going to make you feel at home. And yeah, go there.
nice. Cool, 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 cool. let's get to worst food in Brazil.
The worst food in Brazil.
Or your
The
least favorite.
the worst food in Brazil. I don't know. I don't think there is a worst
What's
thing.
something
Okay,
you don't like?
okay,
Not
okay.
even for
I'm gonna say something. Because once you try a good one, you can see that here it's not good. I'm gonna have to take my students around on that. Pizza, bro. Pizza.
Brazilian pizza.
This depends on where you live, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Because,
yeah, in São Paulo, you can have a nice one, okay, but it's
Yeah.
never like you're gonna have probably in the US or Europe. It's not the same.
I don't know, man. São Paulo's got
Like
some
I was in
really-
Germany, I was in Germany and Portugal, and I had pizza there, and it was better. It was better, to be honest.
Yeah, pizza here is
So I have to
complex.
say the pizza, sometimes it's so gooey. You're like, what the hell? It's like,
Yeah. I mean, I find the biggest problem with pizza outside of Sao Paulo in Brazil is they don't use enough tomato sauce. Actually,
never. No.
It's
And you ask, yes, you ask for it. They say, please, extra sauce. They don't put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have problems with the sauce. Yeah.
Antonio, tell us, what is your favorite drink?
My favorite drink?
Yes.
Oh, cupuaçu juice.
Cupuaçu juice. I have had this before. Yes.
Cupuaçu, it's a fruit from the north. It's a big, hard one, and it's sour. So when you put sugar, because yes, I put sugar. Yes. And then when you put sugar with the sour, oh, amazing. I'm gonna have some after our meeting because
Look at this.
amazing.
Cupuaçu. Yeah, I've had this before, man.
If you check the fruit,
It's tasty.
look. Yes. Yeah. Cupuaçu and açaí. I can say açaí too. Cupuaçu and açaí.
Açaí is awesome.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I'm 42. Açaí was not a trend in Brazil, and we still, my family, we were eating açaí with water and sugar only. But then açaí became this thing.
Oh.
Wow.
Worst food.
Yes.
Caruru. Anthony doesn't like caruru.
Yes. And Craig said he had never heard of the cupuaçu. Try it out, man. I think you'll like it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get down to the best place you have visited in Brazil.
The best place I visited in Brazil. Yeah. That's something. I think, okay. Like, I'm going to say today, the best place I ever visited in Brazil is Pipa, P-I-P-A, in Rio Grande do Norte. Check it out. I could live there. I could go there because you have this. Yeah, you have this small community living close to the beach, and it's like, it's a paradise life.
I like that.
I've heard
people say, but is there Pipa in Bahia too, or no? Or is this the Pipa?
No, I think Pipa is only in Rio Grande do Norte. Yeah, no, it's only Rio Grande do Norte. Yeah. So you have these amazing mountains.
Quit on that because it's killing the internet.
So you're gonna like Pipa. Pipa, you have the coconut water, you have the food, you have the fish, you have the nice people. People are very humble, very nice. It's amazing. Pipa is amazing.
All right, so in the opposite here, what do you think is the most overrated thing? Like tourists coming down, you're like, man, skip it, do it next time. It looks better, they're better places.
Like, okay, when tourists come and they ask me, for example,
most overrated, in your opinion.
In Brazil, the most overrated, I don't know. I would say maybe, I don't know, it's something's overrated. São Paulo, probably.
I knew it. I put money on it.
Dude. Everyone says Rio, but he's.
I'm joking. People from São Paulo, I love you. That's a joke.
Look, he came close to the elite.
No, because São Paulo is not overrated. São Paulo, I think São Paulo is the underdog.
São Paulo is underrated, actually.
Yeah, São Paulo is the underdog. It's completely, yeah. And when you go there and you have a nice experience, you say, wow, okay, São Paulo is not that what they're saying.
No, my brother hated it. My brother hated it because he was
it's a tough city. But it's funny, because do you know the number one answer is
and São Paulo is São Paulo the capital, the city, the center, because when you São Paulo is so big, you have Ilhabela, you have Ubatuba, you have Maresi, like paradises also. Paradises.
Yes.
So when I say São Paulo, I say the city, like
well, there's no tourist things to do here. That's the big thing with São Paulo. Like there's no tourist things to do here. It's more about living here. And
but you cannot, but if you have your friends, you can go to the bars, you can go to the shows, like the concerts. The concerts are amazing. It's always better in São Paulo.
It's the festivals too. There's a lot of small festivals that are really nice to do. So there's always something to do. That's the nice thing about São Paulo.
Yes,
but there's no attraction.
Yeah.
But Antonio, I was just saying that every expat that comes on, their answer to this question is always Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah.
And then I was joking because the people that we have here that are from Rio, their answer is always São Paulo.
Look, I don't know. I don't know Porto Seguro, but I've heard that in Bahia, like Porto Seguro is overrated. I've heard. Mm-hmm. I gotta check it. Yes. But but I can only say if you don't like Rio de Janeiro, it's because you still don't know it. And you have to come, and I'm going to show you because, you're missing. You're missing.
Anthony's coming. Travelmatic's always there. But guys, by the way, this quiz is serious, but it's joking at the same time because Brazil is fucking amazing.
Yes,
like just go. Come to Brazil because as somebody here said, Brasilia is the worst city in Brazil. You know what? It's boring as fucking Brasilia, but it's worth a visit at least once because the architecture, it's like just come to Brazil. Like everything here is like boom. Like for me, I always say with Rio, not a fan of the city, but man, I'm so glad that I've been there because it's just you've never seen something so beautiful as looking out into the ocean, seeing those mountains and the fog. And it's just it looks like something out of like a painting. It doesn't look real. So it's like come, just go, and then either it's one thing going and then you're like, not really my vibe, but at the same time you're like, I'm glad I saw that because it's like a once in a lifetime experience. So just come and explore the country. It's so big and it's so diverse and not everything's going to be for everybody, but that's why it's so cool that this country is so big. So, but let's move on because we do got to finish this quiz and there's 3 more questions. All right. So what's the best? Speaking of Rio, then what's the best place to chill in Rio de Janeiro?
To chill?
Yeah, to just hang out, have a good time.
Lapa.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I'm a Lapa fan. I'm a man from Lapa. I'm always there. I love the way it's a chaos. And how people are coming and going from everywhere and the crossroads. I love the chaos there. So I think
it is chaos. It is chaos.
Yes. To chill, just to relax. I would say maybe I like Ipanema. I like the beach there. I like Posto Nove. I like to hang out there. Go to the beach, but when I want to chill with my friends and I want to, see, like, enjoy the night and talk to people that are politically in the same way, I go to Lapa.
Okay, sure. Wow. Because I agree with you. Lapa is kind of chaos. Like
the city center, the center. I'm gonna go more than Lapa. The center of Rio de Janeiro, I think.
To chill, I like the beach.
To chill is the Ipanema. I would say Ipanema, Posto Nove. You go there, have your
You know,
coconut water. You're gonna
like that classic song, "The Girl from Ipanema," you know.
yes,
You just
yes. The
feel like
girlfriend.
you're letting all your cares go away. Lapa is a bit stressful, actually.
But you can still chill there. That's like remember in the Incredible Hulk, the motherfucker was hiding.
Yeah. Why the fuck
favela.
would Bruce Banner be trying to chill out in
Yeah, Bruce
Brazil?
Banner was being taught by a Gracie.
Yeah,
Gracie.
Yes,
Hickson Gracie
yes,
was teaching him how to breathe. Yes,
yes,
but at a point, you learn how to breathe and you learn how to chill in the middle of the chaos. That's being that's being
right.
carioca. I think
yes.
that explains what is carioca. Carioca is knowing how to chill in chaos.
Yep, I
Right.
love that. I would
That's
love that.
carnival. That's carnival, right?
Yes.
Chilling
Yeah.
during chaos.
Oh, I love it. All right.
Bring it on.
Favorite Brazilian musician or band? Favorite
Oh,
Brazilian musician or band?
bro, I was in India. In 2012, I was in India, and I remember the like a bunch of boys. We were at a surf school, and it was
Mhm.
night bonfire, and they sang a song, and they asked Antonio, "Can you sing us a song from Brazil from an artist that you like?" And I was like, "Oh my god, my favorite artist. Who is this guy?" And then who is this girl? It's Djavan. So now that you're asking me, who is the musician? I don't have a problem to say like immediately that it's Djavan.
Yeah, a lot of people love Djavan because he's fucking amazing.
He's
Djavan
amazing.
is just, he's just
He's like, yeah, he worked with Stevie Wonder, so I think that
yeah.
says a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some great videos, guys. If you want to see him with David
Please check
Sanborn
Djavan.
too.
Yes.
This is a classic here. Him with David Sanborn. That lineup right there when he was playing
Oh,
David Sanborn,
yes.
with friends, Miles Davis, man,
Oh,
that
and
is
I
some
have to
heavy
tell guys,
funk groove.
I have to mention one
Yeah.
person that was diagnosed with dementia recently, which is Milton
Oh,
Nascimento.
Milton Nascimento, yeah.
Milton Nascimento, he's a god, probably. He's he's an Orisha or something. He's something. His music is insane, is beautiful, is
Mhm.
energetic, is poetic. Milton is awesome. You guys check these two people, Milton Nascimento and Djavan, for sure.
Yep, yeah. Milton is next level. I've seen him
Yeah, Anthony
3
said
times.
Lapa is good but dangerous. Yes, Anthony. Yeah, that's
Yes,
it. Lapa is
yeah.
good but dangerous.
But we got some Alcione fans.
Whoa!
Anthony likes some Alcione.
Nice. Alcione,
Alcione's
yeah,
good.
she's
Alcione's
a
good.
queen. She's a queen. She's a queen for
Yes,
sure. She's a queen.
yes, Alcione is good. And then finally here, and I want you also to plug anything you got to plug. I know you at the beginning we introduced you, but we didn't really talk too much about it. That you do teach Portuguese and English,
Yeah.
and I love that because sometimes we have shows where we talk about learning Portuguese and tips and stuff like that. But give us a little plug about yourself, what you do. And then give a little bit of advice for future visitors to the country.
Yeah, I teach Portuguese now. It's been 15 years. I've been doing it. I've worked in Ipanema for like 10 years, and I've been working with Marcus since 2021, the end of 2021, beginning of 22, and it's been great because when I started my profession, I thought about going to the public system and work with the kids in Brazil. But I realized that this is too difficult to do in these terms because they don't give resources, they don't give you structure, and they just abandon you in general with the kids. And then I thought I have to have another way to get to these kids with resources. So I found out that the Portuguese for Foreigners could give me the resources through the foreigners, through the education of the foreigners. I can get money to fund projects to have initiatives going on as we have now. For example, I've been teaching ladies in a slum in North Zone how to read and how to write. They are 60, 70-year-old ladies. And now I have also an English course in Lapa with kids in Lapa. And it's the money that comes from the tourism and education of the foreigners that fund this project. So now I can start like to have the resources I need to get to these kids with what they deserve. So I've been teaching Portuguese and English to make the Amefrican life easier, better, so these people can struggle less than they are doing. And it's been good. I've been seeing nice things happening with these people. Sometimes they think English won't help them. Brazilians think, oh, English, oh, it's just a dream, it's just blah blah blah. But
Yeah.
when sometimes when you get it and you can get a chance with a better job, with a better salary, then you realize that it's not just blah blah blah. You can really change your life. It's difficult, and I'm not saying that people have to do that, but if you have an opportunity, you have to do it. You have to follow it.
Yeah, like part of my job is interviewing people for positions at multinational companies, and the whole point of me doing this is to assess their English level, and if their English level isn't high enough, they're not going to get that job that is going to change their lives.
Yes. Yes, and sometimes when you speak English here, you can make double, because the guy will
Yes.
say, "Oh, so you're going to be the manager. You're not going to be
Yeah.
just doing it. You're going to be the manager."
Yeah.
So it happens, but I know it's very difficult. I don't want people to think that I'm saying that, oh, you have to learn English. I'm not colonizing people's mind here,
Yeah.
just to say it. I'm not colonizing people. I'm just saying that if you have the opportunity, and we know the world, we know how English is around, and how the opportunities you have when you learn English or French or German, but we know English, it's more. Uh,
Yeah.
you follow it, you get it, and you go, and they are doing it. They are doing it, and it's happening. It's been great to work with the foreigners and the Brazilians, and I think this last 2 years we are going like harder with more enthusiasm and more support. And Kay is asking, how can we support? Get in touch with us. Maybe
Can you
you
tell
can,
your
when you come.
Instagram?
Huh?
What's your Instagram page?
My Instagram is Instituto underline like underscore Instituto underscore Aracoara.
Okay, that one right there. I have that one. That's with
Oh,
Marcos.
yeah.
Yeah. So guys, you can follow right here.
Yep.
Instituto Aracoara.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Yes.
really cool stuff. And these guys. I know a little bit more about this through Marcos, because I've been talking to him a bit longer. But I like how they try to make this real bridge between, like he said, the Amefricans, people that are descendants of Afro and Indigenous who have been enslaved in our throughout the continent, kind of like diaspora. Like diaspora English would do that with
Yeah.
language also. And Marcos is doing it a lot with trying to get in touch with the HSBUs in America and trying to get support from them. So, one way, just to cut in a little bit from, with Marcos, is a way that you can support is even if you know organizations in America, in Canada,
Yeah.
that want to connect to an actual fund. It's not like, oh, just somebody's backyard project. Like, it's an actual institution here in Brazil that's doing this type of work. Make that bridge. You know where to find me. I wanted to put your Instagram out there too. But you can message me. I can be a bridge here. Mine is Phil Ray OFC. Or, if you find me on WhatsApp, I can connect you with Antonio. Any other ways that they can support you?
Yeah. If you're coming to Rio de Janeiro, you want to volunteer, you talk to us. You can be a volunteer here. If you want to help, maybe if you want to have classes, if you want to learn Portuguese, if you just want to learn Portuguese and know more about our culture, about our history, the money you give us is to pay the teachers and also to fund the projects. So learn Portuguese, come to Rio de Janeiro, get in touch with us. We can get you to know the places, the Amefrican places, not only in Zona Sul, not only where anyone goes. We can get you to places that you are going to connect with the Amefrican spirit that we are talking about. So get in contact. We're here.
Yes.
See us. We are here. See us.
Cool. And advice, like if somebody's coming down to Brazil for the first time, what advice would you give them?
I would say you are coming to a country where people have less than you probably, or they think that. So it doesn't matter if they don't, they think that. So watch out how you present yourself. I mean, if you know how things are here, just watch out how you present yourself with the bling blings and stuff. It's, yeah, watch out. Make friends. Try to learn a little bit of the language. It's important not to, I mean, I'm not saying that you have to speak fluent Portuguese, but if you can learn some words to communicate, make friends, because friends will be there for you. Friends will help you. And if you're here in Brazil, you're going to need help, because it's a lot of bureaucracy. It's a lot of, oh, you can't do this, but you can do that, but not today, tomorrow. But so you will need help. So it's important
and
for you to make
it's
friends.
not only that, but I think a lot of the local people are not actually able to help. They will just try.
They will
They
try.
will try to help you.
And they will get to people that maybe will help you. Yeah, but they're try. They're gonna try. They're gonna really try because they enjoy the foreigners. Like Rio de Janeiro is a city where when the foreigners come, we feel nice about receiving them and getting in touch and talking and exchanging experiences, living new experiences with them. So yeah, I think that's it. Learn some Portuguese, make friends, watch out for the bling blings, and
Yeah.
be opened to the differences.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe the food is not like in Mexico and Thailand, but that's it. Embrace it. Leave the best from it. And I think, yeah, if you're open-minded, it's gonna be awesome.
Aha. I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. And don't forget, it's a big country, so hop around.
Hop around, yes.
Yes. So guys, that's it for tonight. We had a really great show. Woo. This was exciting. Man, it was a long time in the making, you know? So I'm glad we finally got to do it, because I learned so much. You know, I love the BJs that we do when it's something that I feel very like I know touches of it, but not. So, man, a lesson. In fact, Craig said the same thing. He said, I took a lesson with Professor Antonio. He's top notch.
Thank you, Craig. Thank you. I want to thank you guys. I want to thank Pete. I learned a lot from Canada today from Pete. And I think Canada is a country that I want to study more, because they have this indigenous background that we don't talk about, but it's big. And I want to know more about Canada. So I want to thank you, Peter, for the tips you gave me today about the mining, about the indigenous people. Thank you. And thank you, Phil, for inviting me. It was amazing.
Man, very cool. And El Camello, Anthony McGrew, Diaspora, Life Is, and everybody else that checked in, and those that will listen on the replay, thank you so much. Like, subscribe. Liking gets those videos up top, so definitely like the video. And do we have some? Oh yes, I think we have some outro music, guys. There it is. Thank you for listening to the Brazil Expat Journal, the BJ you can trust. Next week, actually, we will be talking a little bit about communication, how to speak to Brazilians. It goes beyond just the language. It's different styles of seeing the world. And so you really got to know how Brazilians think to communicate with
I could learn something from that, I'm sure.
Cool.
Yeah, it depends on whether or not it's professional
We're
or
gonna have a fun
social.
show. I've been doing a lot of this in my English classes, to get students to understand it's beyond just language.
Yeah, I know.
It's beyond just language when it
I
comes
have
to
this
communicating.
boss that I've known for like 8 years, and she still fucking bitches me out for not saying "How are you?"
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yes.
If you don't,
We'll
respond,
get into all that. We'll get into all that.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
all right.
you can be on the
Nice to have
block
you, man.
list if you forget that bom dia. But there's a reason behind that. So I've been talking to a lot of Brazilians, getting some insights, doing some research, and we'll see if we can kind of break it down a little bit for you guys, or at least get you to the point where you're not going to get blocked on WhatsApp, because you didn't say good morning.
Yeah, I want to come back. So invite me again. I want to come back.
For sure, man. I had a great time talking to you. This is wonderful. Well, on the topic of good morning, let's do a good night. Thank you, people. Love you guys. Until next time.
See you next time.
We are off the air in